You're listening to Living in Spain podcasts with David Wright.
Hi, my name's David Wright and welcome to another one of my podcasts, Living and Working in Spain. Okay, so today's guest, we've got James Rothwell, who lives in Madrid. So, hi, James.
Hi, David. Hi, how's it going? How are you today?
Great, great. And so, James, where are you from originally in the UK?
So I'm originally from the Northwest, from Chester.
Right, and how long have you been living in Spain now?
I've been in Spain now for 15 years, and all of those years I've been here in Madrid.
Lovely. And so, just for the listeners, can you tell us, James, what is it you're doing here now for a living in Madrid?
Yeah, sure. I work as an English teacher. I teach adults. In the past, I have taught children as well, and I work in the private sector. So I've had different experience working in private academies, but now I'm self-employed. I do a mixture of things: business people. I do face-to-face classes, telephone classes, and online work as well.
Great. And James, you say you're self-employed. I was self-employed here for about 10 years. A lot of people are a bit scared about going self-employed because it's around €300 a month to pay you're self-employed. But some people don't understand that you can do absolutely anything once you're self-employed. It doesn't restrict you to doing one thing. What do you think about going self-employed? Do you think it's a good idea?
I think there are pros and cons. It's a lot better than when I've been self-employed for about 7 years now. And in the last few years, it has got better. Um, the as you said, the full rate is touching €300 a month. But also, as you said, that does allow you to invoice for anything. So you don't just have to, but you can send invoices for other things too. But there is now, as I think you've mentioned in your page, you start at a lower rate to begin with. So I think now it's €60 at the beginning. And things have improved with being self-employed. For example, at Christmas when I don't work, and in the summer, because as an English teacher there isn't much work going in the summer, I come off that system. So you can sign off it if you like. So I'm not paying the 300 12 months of the year.
Yeah, there's this is what a lot of people don't understand. A friend of mine works here as a plumber, and he stopped his autonomo, self-employed, while the crisis has been on with the virus, and he started up again a couple of days ago. You can put it on a hold, on freeze. Obviously, you lose some of the benefits to that, but the thing is, what people don't understand is once you do go self-employed, you get your health system all included, and it's not just for you; it's for your wife or your children or anyone living in your house. So Brits, are worried about getting the health insurance now, which can be pretty expensive. But this is another thing I say to them: if you go self-employed, you can work as what you like, and you get all these benefits included. So maybe it's not such a bad deal in the end.
Yeah, and I think especially when people are starting up with the lower rate, because it like we've said, it's not the 300 to begin with. And the coming on and coming off it, that's improved too. I think a couple of years ago now, it used to be that you had to pay a full month, but now you can come off the system halfway through a month and then go back on it again middle month. So I've paid partial months before. So at Christmas, I think I signed off it on the 20th of December and I went back on the 14th, and that you couldn't do a couple of years ago. So things are definitely improved. I think it's a good option. It's worked for me.
What would you give advice to people that are thinking of coming here to Spain to live and want to teach some English or Spanish here as a sideline? What qualifications would they need? Is it easy to get into?
Yeah, the initial qualification I did is run by Cambridge University, and it's called CELTA, and it was a 1 month intensive course. And I think in the UK now they're charging between 13 and £1,400 to do that, which is quite an investment. But it's 1 month intensive, and it is a good course, and that's recognised by, I think, all private academies across certainly Madrid, and I think on the coast as well. Other than that, I would recommend you could just trying, I know, advertising locally, having your own Facebook page set up. It can be a quite good sideline. Um, and you don't necessarily have to be qualified. You could try it and see how you felt teaching people on a one-to-one basis. And if you liked it, then you could look at the qualification. Because the qualification I did you can do it in Spain as well. It's not something you'd have to do before you came here.
So, James, what as living here in Spain as long as you have, what I mean, you don't need to tell me how better off it is here. I personally, I think that, and I'm always telling people that. But do you think you have a better life here in Spain than where you were before in the UK?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm from Chester originally, but before I left the UK, I was living in London, and now I live in Madrid. So that's quite comparable, the two capital cities. Um, and definitely all the things I do here in Madrid, my social life and my day-to-day life, I prefer here, not just because of the weather, but just the way of life. Let's say it sounds like a cliche, but it's really worked for me, and I think it does for a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, it's a positive change, definitely.
And what was the thing that made you move to Spain? What made you choose to come to live to Spain in the first place?
I was just looking for a change. I don't know if I had a midlife crisis when I was about 30 or something. I was looking for a change. Um, I was happy in London with the work I was doing. I wasn't teaching English, but I had a good job and I enjoyed it. But I felt like doing something different. I'd done a bit of traveling. I'd seen other countries, and I just wanted to have a bit of an adventure. And I didn't plan. I never imagined that 15 years later I'd be living here still. It was just for a couple of years just to see how it was. But no, I'm really settled here now.
Great. And James, what one bit of advice would you give the British expats in Spain group members?
I think probably two things. Probably as the members of the group will know, to look for experience of other people to get advice, and probably really to channel it. So if you're a hairdresser or if you're a builder, speak to other hairdressers and builders. So you can ask for advice, and people are always happy to give advice. But I think you need to really specialize the advice if you like. And if you're a hairdresser thinking of moving to town A, then try to talk to a hairdresser who lives in that town or lives very nearby. So try to get advice from someone who's doing something that's very, very like what you plan on doing. That'd be my first uh, tip. And then second of all, I think it's really important, and I know you have the same opinion, to learn the language and do as much as you can on that before you come, because it just makes it so much more comfortable. Um, I mean, how you can't plan to be fluent before you come here, but little things will be so much easier, not only administration, but just your daily life, just like, in the supermarket, at the bar, that'd be more enjoyable as well. So I think
Great.
I think by having some Spanish before you come, it can make it less stressful when you're sorting out things like connecting your electricity or your water or the Vodafone, whoever you try to talk to someone in a shop to buy a phone, and also from a social point of view, I think it just more enjoyable.
Exactly. All my sentiments exactly, but it's nice to hear it from another Brit that's been here more than a few years. So, maybe this will sink into some of the listeners. And James, if people want to get in touch with you, they can contact you through the Facebook group. They can send you a message, and you're quite happy to share some of this info with them. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. If anyone has any questions, especially if people are thinking about, compared to my advice before, if anyone's thinking of coming to Madrid to live here, or they're thinking of teaching in Spain in general, then I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has. Just send me a message on Facebook.
Great. Thanks, James. And just before we go, the virus, the dreaded virus, how are you getting on in Madrid? So I hear you're still on phase zero up there in Madrid, and you can't get yourself out and get some tapas like we can down here in Almeria.
No, yeah. Well, actually, it's pouring down with rain at the moment. So even if our terraces and the bars were open, I don't think we'd have the weather for it. But it's been quite bad here in Madrid, yeah. And I'm in the very center, so uh, it's quite hard here because there's so many people living here. So it's quite, when you go out for a walk, even it's yeah. Let's hope the situation improves bit by bit.
Okay, well, it's great. It's nice to have you here with us, James. Thanks very much, and I'm sure you're going to get a few messages in the Facebook group. So,
Okay, that's great. Thanks for the chat.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at BritishExpatsInSpain.com.